An appellate court saved Donald Trump. Remember that thing about the two-tier justice system? Trump continues to benefit from it. A court has saved Trump, dropped his bond more than 60%, and has given him 10 additional days to come up with the money. It's important to mention, as we look at the New York, Washington Post's coverage of this, important to mention that both sides are considering this a win. Remember, Trump previously faced a requirement to post a nearly $500 million bond to stop the New York Attorney General from starting to seize his assets, and the deadline was yesterday. Trump went to court yesterday. We have coverage of the press conference he gave afterwards, the things he was posting to Truth Central while he was there. But the bottom line is that the appeals court said Trump will be allowed to post a $175 million bond rather than the $450 million. And he is going to have 10 additional days to come up with that money. So, two sides to this. On the one hand, Trump and his acolytes are saying this is a win. They got it reduced 60%. They got more time. Now Trump can raise money, find money, go to Russia for money. Who the hell knows what he plans to do? On the other hand, Letitia James and others are saying this is a win for them because even the appellate court, in giving Trump 10 more days and giving him the reduction, is still saying you have to come up with hundreds of millions of dollars and this isn't going to go away. I think the most important takeaway here is, yet again, 8 years of this stuff, of Trump claiming he's the biggest victim in the world, treated so unfairly, two-tier justice system, which is bad for Republicans, and yet it is Trump who continues to benefit from the two-tier justice system. Because remember, if you, as a normal person, had 91 felony counts against you in 4 different jurisdictions, do you think you'd even be out on bail? Or do you think you'd be sitting in jail rotting, waiting for the trials to start? Especially if you owned a private plane, which of course, by owning the plane, you no longer are any random person. You're someone special. But that is an example of the two-tier justice system benefiting Donald Trump. If you or I regularly violated clear and deliberate, unquestioning gag orders, don't attack my staff, don't attack court personnel, don't attack the plaintiff. If we violated gag orders this regularly, do you think we would suffer no penalties the way Trump has suffered no penalties for all the times he violated the gag orders? No, that's Trump benefiting from the two-tier justice system. It's not Democrats and Republicans. It's rich, powerful guy with top-notch lawyers and everybody else. And then here, does anybody get 60% off and more time to come up with the money? Some people get extensions, some people get reductions, but we're talking about a reduction here to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. So even though both sides can claim this as a win, in reality, it is a major win for Trump, who, by the way, spent all morning insulting the judge on Truth Central, which we'll get to in a moment. It is a win for Trump. The question is, does he even have the 175 million? He insists he does, although his lawyers said in court filings that he doesn't. But does he now have the ability to make this new lower bond? We will wait. We will see. He's got 10 days. So let's take a quick break. We'll get to what was going on in and out of court as this was all happening yesterday morning and afternoon in just a moment. One of our sponsors today is Tychos, which provides an awesome free weekly 5-minute video series about the economy called The Weekly Comment. And it's hosted by Richard Vague. I've always found Richard Vague to be a premier economic expert. He's the former Secretary of Banking and Securities for Pennsylvania. And every week, Richard is covering economic topics that keep you up to date, really looking at the key economic issues of our time: U.S. debt, income inequality, forecasts for the American economy, economic challenges that are facing Europe and China, innovative policy ideas. Richard is the author of economic bestsellers, including A Brief History of Doom, The Case for a Debt Jubilee, and his newest book, The Paradox of Debt, which is a really interesting look at how government deficit spending in the U.S. during the pandemic era mostly benefited the top 10%. The $6 trillion in government deficit spending in the U.S. in the nearly 3 main pandemic years increased household wealth by $31 trillion. That's the paradox of debt, according to Richard Vague. And in his weekly video series from Tychos called The Weekly Comment, Richard is excellent at taking really complicated economic issues and making them accessible to anyone. Go sign up for free at join.tychosgroup.org. The link is down below.